All right, welcome back. You're on with the Ox. Good to talk to you again. It's been a long week. A lot of stuff has happened. Besides the games on Sunday and Monday and actually last Thursday, there's been a lot going on, man. There's been, the trading deadline ended yesterday at 4 o'clock. There was some stuff, kind of crazy stuff, though. Stuff you haven't seen before. In fact, the New York Football Giants made a trade with I'm sorry about that, with the New York Football Jets. And that's the first time in the history of their existence together that's ever happened. Isn't that unbelievable, T-Bone? Well, let's welcome in T-Bone. T-Bone just sauntered into the room late as usual. But
Good evening.
good evening. Look at it. Well, it must be close to Halloween because he's starting to act like Count Dracula. But let's get into a couple of things here, okay? With the trading deadline, I'll start with the Jets because it's easy to start with the Jets. When you're actually worse than the Giants, that's pretty pathetic because the Giants are absolutely horrible and the Jets are even worse, which is, I got a call from my buddy yesterday and, he wanted to jump out his window in the middle of New York City because he's so disappointed at how bad the Jets are, and they are terrible. So then, so they're terrible on the weekend, and then this whole thing comes with, they might trade their defensive back Adams, okay? And first of all, so everybody's tradable, and the guy, GM picked up the phone, and this guy Adams has a huge problem with it. In fact, he won't even talk to his bosses. I'm like, dude, man, get over it. What is your problem? Okay, just wipe your hoochie coochie and go on to the next day. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, first of all, it's not like this guy comes from poverty. This guy's father was a first-round draft pick for the New York Giants. His name is George Adams. So I just don't really understand why this guy is just going on and on and on and on and on. Shut up. You're getting paid. All right, show up for work and play well. That's all you got to do. And it brings us to the Redskins. Oh, my God, which I love. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that the Redskins are such a dysfunctional piece of crap franchise, starting from the top. We all know it. We've talked about it in the past, okay? But I don't think we've talked about their GM, Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen is the son of basically royalty in Washington. George Allen was his father, who was the head coach of the L.A. Rams when they had the Fearsome Foursome and all those guys. And he got fired out there by, believe it or not, Irsay Sr., who is the owner of the Baltimore Colts. Okay, so whatever. Some people just step in shit all the time. Regardless. And then he came over to the Redskins in I'm going to say the early 70s. And he coached the Redskins to the Super Bowl, which they lost to the undefeated Miami Dolphins in 1972. But his son Bruce, he kind of has an arrogant way about himself. He's, what have you done? He just likes to hear himself talk. But he's terrible as a GM. And he's just wrecking his team, which I love, don't get me wrong. Believe me, I want the Redskins to be as shitty as they can possibly be for the rest of my existence. Hands down. But now they've taken this whole thing to a new level. So they had this left tackle who was one of the better left tackles in the league. I would say top 5, okay, Trent Williams. And he held out all year because he didn't like their medical staff. And I think he really wanted a new contract anyways because on elite left tackles, he's very much on the bottom of the pay scale. But so he finally, they didn't trade him, so he finally shows up today. And the reason why he has a problem with the medical staff because he has some sort of growth on his head. And he didn't like the way their doctors were handling it. Well, why don't you just go to your own doctors? I mean, the NFL does have a health plan, Ace. Well, whatever. So he comes in today and he says he puts his helmet on and he fails his physical. And you have to pass your physical to play. He fails his physical because he says he doesn't feel comfortable in his helmet. Wow, man, that is unbelievable. That is like better than the fictitious back injury that Jalen Ramsey had in order for him to get traded. But, dude, the freaking trade deadline's done. So you're stuck. And if you play this game, I think you're going to lose. I think your lawyer's going to win. That's for sure. but you're going to lose. But that's the Redskins. They're just, and I feel bad because they have a really great fan base. I mean, they're very loyal guys, but you gotta really come back to reality, boys. The Redskins suck, and they're going to suck for a long time. Not that the Giants are going to be any better, but here's the difference, bro. We won 2 Super Bowls in the last 12 years. You haven't won nothing in, 25, 26 years. But you were good for a few years there, but that's it. Fuck you. All right, let's bring us to another, I would say, really good franchise that is almost in the same thing as the Redskins, not as bad. And that's the John Elway-led Broncos. Holy cow. The thing is over there, the owner passed away. He got sick, and then, Elway was his son he never had, or maybe the son he always wanted. Who knows? But he gave Elway all this power, and Elway still has the power because everything's in probate out there after his death. And Elway has just ran this franchise into the ground. I mean, yeah, okay, he won a Super Bowl with them. This one's for Pat. I get it. But you know what? He was able to get Peyton Manning, just signing him. Talked him into coming, and that was it. And the great defense. They still have the great defense. But that dude has screwed up the quarterback position, the offensive position, the coaching position for years. I mean, obviously, just because you're a great all-time quarterback doesn't mean you're a really good front office executive. No. It's and Flacco goes off at the press conference, which I actually liked, and then automatically he goes on the injury reserve for 6 weeks. Coincidence? I'm not sure, okay? But it sounds pretty fishy to me. But Flacco let him have it, man. Not that he was going at Elway, not that he was going at Vic Fangio, his coach, or even his offensive coordinator. He was just saying flat out, man, this team is afraid to win. And wow, that is a huge statement. Now, Flacco can make the statement because he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. There's no question. No question. But he hasn't done anything in a long time. It's almost like Eli Manning saying something. Okay? Yeah, you haven't done anything in a long time. But once you get that ring, unless you're Jim Plunkett or Phil Simms, you're usually going to the Hall of Fame. Okay, now, we are a football show. We know that, okay? But I'm going to kind of mix a couple of things together because I've been watching the World Series like I'm sure most everybody has. And last night they had this really controversial play. And then also I think it was the Miami game and there was another controversial thing. So why are we using like human judgment, human eye, chains, first down chains? Let's use lasers, man. Lasers have been around forever, okay? They are absolutely true. We build skyscrapers with lasers. We build houses. We build roads. We build everything with laser lines. What the hell is wrong with professional sports? Why wouldn't you just use laser lines? You put a chip in the ball in football. When you got to go 10 yards, that's it. That's it. What's the matter? I don't get it. I don't get why we have to do this. Now, look, I'm not, all you union guys are going to come out, well, you're taking jobs away. No, we're not taking jobs away. People still got to know how to run the lasers, okay? Okay, it's like the toll collectors. When they got rid of the toll collectors, it was a big uproar, okay? But, there was other people that run the Easy Pass, okay? So there's still jobs. You're not taking away jobs. You're doing this. So I want to get those, tree huggers out of the way. But we got to start using lasers because it's true. It's a true thing, whether in baseball or whether it's a strike zone or the base paths, which is a nothing, or first downs and goal line with football. You got to do it, man. It's just crazy. I mean, the technology is there. Why are you so against it? Why are you so against it? Do you like this controversy? Do you like when people talk about who got robbed and who didn't get robbed? Forget about it. All right, yeah. And, oh my God, I don't know if you watched the game on Sunday night. I'm sure you did. But Aaron Rodgers threw this pass. I got to tell you, It was one of the greatest passes I've ever seen. It like ranks up there with Eli Manning to Manningham's pass, which was amazing. You can never take that away from Eli Manning. You can take a lot of things away from Eli Manning, but you cannot take that throw away. That was unbelievable. And that's Aaron Rodgers going down. It was, who knows if he wanted to throw it to the guy, but it looked great. I mean, it looked unbelievable. He is amazing. He is amazing. So did you see the game?
Yeah, I was watching the game.
Oh, yeah?
I missed the pass, though. I was a little distracted by the Kansas City Chiefs cheerleaders.
Oh, look at you there, T-Bone. Yeah, man, those, I got to give you, Tom, you got a good eye, because they are truly, I think, the best-looking squad in the whole league.
I agree. They're smoking.
They are. I mean, everybody talks about the Cowboy cheerleaders. Big deal. I mean, nah.
Yikes.
Nice uniforms, don't get me wrong. I mean, those whole little tie-up halters, I mean, who's kidding who? But, I mean, that's spank-bank material. But, yeah, those Kansas City girls, I don't know what it is about that. The middle of the country, I mean, that's plug in the middle of the country. But, yeah, it was nice.
So are you a chess guy or an ass guy?
Well, are those my only options?
Like, what other option?
I got to tell you, I've been asked that question a lot of times, okay? You know, look, I do. Who doesn't love a nice upper section? I mean, it is nice. And, you know, the rear and with the legs. All right, so if you're going to press me, I got to go off the grid a little bit here. I'm actually a vagina guy, okay? Yeah, that's the end game. So, I mean, everything else is nice, don't get me wrong, but the end game is the vagina. You know, I know that might not be a popular answer, but that's my answer.
It's a good one.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice, hey, yeah, I copped the field tonight, but nah, you got to finish the game. Come on. All right, well, let's not get too much off topic. Speaking of really good-looking ladies, I'm kind of getting a little nervous.
Why? What happened?
I haven't seen Susan from upstairs in 2 weeks.
You know what? I haven't seen her either.
I think that's a bad sign. Do you think she moved? Don't tell me she moved. If she moved, oh my God, you better just hide all the rope in the studio right here. Do we have any rope in the studio?
No, we don't.
Okay, thank God. All right, but I haven't seen her. I'm a little nervous about it. So I'm not going to talk too much. Hopefully she shows up.
Maybe she's on vacation.
Vacation? Vacation from what? Just being like a supermodel, hanging out, walking around with no clothes on? Shit, you need a vacation from that? Man, I made a lot of mistakes in my life if that's the case. But anyways, all right, well, it brings us to, we could probably have a weekly segment on this guy. I try not to harp too much on this guy because I think he's going to be a good player. But, you know, Baker Mayfield walked out on his press conference today, a press conference that he's supposed to do. Technically, I'm sure he gets paid to do. And you know what? Here's the thing. The guy likes to sound off. So, yeah, great. But, you know, he's thin-skinned. I mean, now, is that the guy you want? You know, he's got a great arm, doesn't have great size. He's got a huge mouth. We've talked about it before. But you know what? I mean, you know, you got to stand up for this stuff. I mean, and it's, believe me, it's nothing against Cleveland. I love Cleveland. I have family in Cleveland. I love the town. But it's not like it's like New York City or Philadelphia or someplace like that. You know, this shit would not be tolerated, all right? So, you know, the guy's got to really, you know, step up. You know, step up. Don't be such a wussy. Don't be so sensitive, okay? You like to, you know, you put the flag, the Oklahoma flag, in the center of Ohio State, even though you couldn't sink it because it was a synthetic field, which is okay, but the sentiment was there. But, bro, I mean, don't be such a pussy. Jesus. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, you're on TV all the time, whether you're playing. That's the worst time you're on TV is when you're playing. You got all these commercials. And, you know, maybe, put the endorsements down for a bit, you know? You know, I know you did them in the off season, and this is the season. But you know what? You could have been doing other stuff in the off season. You know, most likely growing a set of balls, okay? So instead of doing commercials, why don't you grow a set of balls and stop being such a freaking pussy jerk-off? Jesus. But we'll talk more about him next week. You better win this week, bro, because boy, oh boy, you thought that reporter had some nasty questions. And I know you're a listener, Baker. Don't say you're not. But anyway, so that takes us to, oh my God, another divisional team of the Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh my God. They should just take this team away from Mike Brown and his family. They're just, Paul Brown was Paul Brown. Legendary. Oh my God. Just forget about it. George Halas, Wellington Mara, that type of guy. I mean, incredible. His son is a buffoon, man. I mean, all they want to do is make money. Don't you want to win? Don't you want to win a championship? You bench Andy Dalton. Okay, I guess I get it. Okay, but why don't you trade him? Why don't you trade the guy? But, you're kind of a vindictive front office. I remember watching you guys on Hard Knocks, and I just, those front office scenes were almost like a Stephen King movie. You guys were just so creepy, especially you, Mike Brown. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. But another, and super talent. I mean, the defense has a ton of talent. The offense has a ton of A.J. Green, awesome player. Mixon's getting lost up there. Not the greatest guy in the world, but a pretty good running back. But yeah, I just can't see it. I just can't see this team, even if they get the first pick of the draft, which they could because they don't have a win, neither does Miami. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they might play each other this year towards the end of the season. That might be the number one pick in the draft ball. That would be interesting. People would tune in to see like the two worst teams in the league play each other, and whoever loses gets the first pick of the draft, and they both need quarterbacks. That could be pretty cool. Oh, and I got to talk about, not the same division, but I think one of the better divisions in the league, at least most competitive top to bottom, is the AFC South. T-Bone and I, we live close to Nashville, so, we get to see some of these games, and Houston's in that league, and they obviously, unfortunately, lost J.J. Watt again. J.J. Watt, I don't know what he does. Maybe he works out too hard. He's too tight, whatever the case is. But, 3 of the last 4 seasons, if I'm correct there, he's been out. He misses not just a couple of games. He misses, most of the season or the entire season. And that's not good, man. So maybe you got to hang it up because, you got young kids and stuff. I know you're ginormous. I mean, you're 6'5" and 300 pounds and just a solid mass. And you could probably hold a dam back by yourself. But, you tear stuff, really weird stuff. So it's a shame. But his quarterback, what a play. I mean, we talked about Aaron Rodgers' play earlier. Deshaun Watson's play was getting kicked in the freaking eye, which is how hard it is to kick somebody in the eye? It's almost like hitting a hole-in-one. Okay, that's how rare it is. I mean, how do you kick somebody in the eye through a face mask? Especially a defensive tackle. You ever see this? You wear big shoes, Tom. How big? Did I say Tom? Is your name Tom? So, yeah, he gets kicked in the eye by this giant defensive tackle, a defensive end, and he actually straightens out his helmet and throws this incredible touchdown pass. And then you see him at the end of the game, and his eyes, not completely closed, but it's pretty swollen. That dude rocks it, man. He really does. I wish I had him on my fantasy football team, but unfortunately I don't. But, that was an amazing play to me. I mean, these guys, Aaron Rodgers, incredible throws. Deshaun Watson, incredible athlete, and also an incredible passer. That's the thing that can't be lost on Deshaun Watson. He's an amazing thrower of the football. He's not just this outrageous athlete, which he is, okay? And Aaron Rodgers is also an outrageous athlete who's also an amazing thrower of the football. But Baker, you're not. Sorry to bring it back to you, kid. I thought you thought you were off the slate, but you weren't. Okay, well, which is going to bring us to, I think, the more favorite part of the show is our picks. Okay, as we know, the previous week, I had a very bad day. I had to send a lot of money to somebody that I can't stand, and because I went 4-10, okay? But lo and behold, this week, the nose will not be making a house call to me because I went 10-5. So if he does show up, which he won't because he owes me money, I thought I did pretty well. So I know you guys don't believe me the week I was off that I went 16-0, but that's for me to know and you to find out. So pretty much for the most part, I'm even money so far for the year. So let me just punch up the spreads for this week and let's win some money. Okay, so let's pick this week's games, I should say. And the first one that just pops up on the computer is the 49ers at the Cardinals. And the Cardinals are getting 10 points at home. 10 points at home. I'm telling you, this year has been the craziest home underdogs getting so many points. Well, look, San Francisco's defense is definitely for real. There's no doubt about it. I'm the last one to tell you that they are no joke. But you know what? They're not going to be able to. Their biggest thing is their pass rush. Nick Bosa is this rookie that's taken the league by storm. But can they? Can they contain a quarterback like this guy? And they just traded for a good running back. They still have a David Johnson. I don't even know if David Johnson is playing. But they still got Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, they got safety nets for this quarterback. 10 points is a lot of points. I know this is going to sound nuts, but I'm going to take the Cardinals plus the 10. All right? So, we'll see. Okay, now the Texans at the Jaguars. Now, I believe this game is in London. Okay? Jaguars play a lot of games in London. Okay? Their owner, good owner. If you go back, you'll know he's a good owner in my eyes. He owns we'll call it soccer, but they call it football over there because, they're just who they are. But he owns a really successful soccer team. But you know what? I don't know. I mean, they don't have Jalen Ramsey anymore. Deshaun Watson's coming off this amazing thing. I know they lost J.J. Watt, but their defense is good. They can withstand that. I'm going to take the Texans, and I'm going to take 2 points with that. And first of all, I mean, why are the Jaguars giving two? Oh, no, I'm sorry. 1,000 pardons. I'm giving 2 points. My bad. Okay? Don't kill the messenger. Vikings at the Chiefs. 3.5 points for the Chiefs at home. When's the last time the Chiefs have been underdogs at home to somebody not named the New England Patriots? I don't know. I tell you, Matt Moore, I thought did a nice job. The Vikings are playing good. Here's the thing, though. The Vikings got the better back. This kid Cook is just kicking ass and taking names. And, Cousins, even if he's having a bad night, which could possibly happen, is playing on grass. This is a dome team going in. I don't know. I'll call it a hunch, but I'm going to stay with Minnesota. All right, and I got to give 3.5. Man, I tell you, the nose is tough. He's like a prison warden, that guy. Ugh, I hope I never see him again. Anyways, okay, the Redskins at the Bills. What do you think about this, T-Bone? Redskins at the Bills. And the Bills are giving the Redskins, the Buffalo Bills, 9.5 points. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like the Bills.
Do you? Mm-hmm. With all those points, really?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to go by you, but this one's on you, okay?
You got it.
Man, minus 9.5. Does Jim Kelly come out of retirement with, Bruce Smith and, Andre Reed? Get the heck out of here. All right, the Titans at the Panthers. And the Panthers, this doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, gotcha. The Panthers are giving the Titans 9 points. Tannehill's been playing well. The Panthers just got their, balls handed to them out in San Francisco. San Francisco put like over 50 points. I know, like the pundits say the 50 burger. Which, what the hell is a 50 burger? That is like the biggest bunch of. I mean, sometimes if you can just go through the television and punch an announcer in the face, would you do it?
Yeah.
If you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. I would do it almost every week. A 50 burger. What the hell is a 50 burger? It's 50 points. Come on. It's points. Jergos. Anyways. So what do you think about that one?
What was it again? Titans and Panthers?
Panthers, yeah. And the Panthers are -4. They got Christian McCaffrey. Let's not forget that. That dude is a human touchdown film.
I really don't know. I'm going to have you call this one.
All right. Well, I'm going to go. Jesus. You know, the Titans are playing. Let's go with the local team. What do you say?
Sure.
Okay? When in Rome, right?
When in Nashville.
When in Nashville. Well, if we go to Nashville, I know we're not leaving. So that's why I always drive around Nashville with you in the car. Forget about it. Okay, here's a barn burner, man. This is the game of the freaking week right here. Jets and the Dolphins. And the Dolphins are getting 4.5 points at home. The Dolphins are so bad at home, they're giving the Jets 4.5, which is technically 7.5, because the home team always gets 3 points. Are the Dolphins that bad? Because that's really what it comes down to. Because I know the Jets are pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, they're both pretty bad.
Well, let's not talk about the state of football in New York, even though we'll get to the Giants later. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
You're not helping me out here, Tom. I think the Jets have to have this game.
Yeah.
If the Jets don't have this game, there might be, like, serious repercussions. Which
I think the Jets will do it.
You know, it's too early to fire this guy. I mean, he doesn't come across well. He didn't at his introductory. I'm talking about Adam Gase. But supposedly he's a good coach, so you kind of got to give him some chances. And, the Jets have just completely screwed up the whole offseason because they fired their GM after the draft. Now, who does that? Then the New York Jets do that. That's what the Jets do. The Jets are so bad they make the Giants look good, which is good. So it's always good to have the Jets in town because then nobody really truly realizes how shitty the Giants are. But that's a story for another day. We got the Bears at the Eagles -5. The poor Bears have to go to the worst town in the history of towns to play a football game against the super classy, good owner, Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Mitch Trubisky was on today saying he's the quarterback of the Bears, as we both know. And he was saying he watched some certain film and he figured it out. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So either you believe that this kid has figured it out or he's going to get pretty much assassinated in Philadelphia because people only go to Philadelphia if you want to get killed, stabbed or something, whether it's in a football stadium or on the side street. Okay? Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So do you think the Bears are tough enough to withstand that? Or do you think we got to go with the Eagles? And we don't like to go with the Eagles, but this is money here, bro. Okay? We don't want the nose showing up, pounding on the back door like he always does. And, he's Peugeot and all this stupid shit.
Yeah, I remember last time.
Yeah, it wasn't happy.
No.
So what do you want to do? Philly is Chicago, but it's 5 points now.
Yeah.
The Bears are getting 5. Let's go Chicago.
Sure.
+5. But their kicker situation sucks. The kicker missed the field goal.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dude, man, and believe me, I have no love for the Chicago Bears and their fans, okay? But that's got to be pretty tough. But too bad for you. Okay, ooh, the Colts at the Steelers, and it's an even Steven. This is a no-brainer for me. Okay? So we're going to go to the Colts.
Yeah.
You know why? I think they got the best, most even-keeled coach, and they got a great team.
Yeah.
And segue, they have the best lineman in the league in Quentin Nelson. It's the second coming of John Hanna. This dude was the 5th pick last year. I might have talked about this already, but if I didn't, if I did, hey, too bad. But he's a wrecker. He's a guard, which is weird because mostly it's tackles, BS, interior guys. And this dude is a wrecking ball. He just crushes people. He's just got superhuman strength. He's got such leverage. He's low to the ground. He's super wide. And he kicks ass, man. He's like the J.J. Watt of the offensive line, somebody like that. But he stays healthy, not like J.J. But super duper player. Not always do people watch offensive linemen, but if you do, and I do because basically I'm a zero, that's the guy I watch. Okay. The Lions at the Raiders. Raiders are finally home. You know how long the Raiders haven't played a home game?
It's been a while.
6 weeks, bro.
They were
6
traveling.
weeks. They call them home games, but they're over in London.
Yeah.
6 weeks, and they snuck a bye in there. And they're at home, and they're a 2-point favorite against the Lions. Now, I'm telling you, the Giants played the Lions last week. Giants should have definitely won this game. But I do think the Lions are a really good team. I think they got everything they need. Stafford's playing great. They got really good receivers. They got a good young tight end. They got a good line that's protecting Stafford. And they do have some playmakers on defense. There's no question. But the defense is the weakest part of the team. I don't know. I think I'm going to, it's a long trip. Taking Detroit on the road. It's not like the Oakland Raiders are playing bad. They're playing actually good. So I'm almost talking myself out of this pick. So I think I did. I'm going Oakland. I'm going Oakland because I think Johnny G is doing what he's got to do. So I was, before I stopped talking, I was all over Detroit. But you know what? Did we get any emails from that girl from Detroit? CJRJ, whatever her name is, the girl with all the hyphens and shit.
Yeah,
No? No, she must have gone on some sort of love camp or something. When you go away and, you just, pour honey over yourself and, nature comes and takes over. It's really weird. I mean, I read this thing. It's like the people that are sick and tired of the human race and they want nature to take over for them, you know what I mean? So you pour honey all over yourself. And, look, I've never done this, okay? But I read about it, and of course you see it on the internet. And all the wild animals come in and lick all the honey off, and that's how they get their sexual satisfaction. I know, it's really weird. Don't look at me as that crazy, but it's really strange. But maybe that's where she is. Maybe that's why we didn't get an email. Okay.
One possibility.
Okay, the Bucks at the Seahawks. Oh my God, the Bucks are, and the Seahawks are only given 6.5 points. This is nuts. I mean, who's quarterbacking the Buccaneers? It is still Jameis Winston, right? This is Seattle all the way, man. But Seattle hasn't been very great at home. Not that I'm going to talk myself out of this one. It wasn't like the pick before. But it's Tampa Bay. And that's probably the farthest trip you can, unless you're Miami, okay? That's the longest road trip you can possibly take, going to Seattle from South Florida. All right, the Packers at the Chargers. At the Chargers. This is an interesting game. Chargers are getting 3.5 at home. Well, here's the thing, though. The Green Bay travels. The fans travel. They're like Pittsburgh. They're like those scumbag Dallas Cowboy fans, okay? They do travel, okay? I don't say that the Cowboy fans travel. I just think they're sporadically, because everybody leaves Dallas, they're sporadically scattered all over the United States. The Packers and the Steelers, they travel, okay? Dallas fans are they're paper fans, but we're not going to go there. But the Green Bay fans, they do travel. And they got to give 3.5 points. After that scene we saw the other night, they went to... Now, this is the second week in a row they got to travel, the Packers. Okay? A little longer than it was to Kansas City. and that was Sunday night. So they're kind of working on a short week. I don't really buy the Sunday night short week shit, okay, because the guys that play it Sunday afternoon, they just go out and get hammered, okay? What's the difference? You wake up feeling like shit, you wake up feeling like shit. So the Monday night thing, that is a short week. But the Sunday night thing, that's not a short week. That's a TV made-up bullshit nonsense. But anyways, what do you say we take the pack on that one?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Was I talking too much now?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, because there was blood coming out of your ears. Okay. Oh, our favorite team, the Cleveland Browns, at the Broncos, the Mile High City, the cleanest city you ever been to. So you said. Wow, dude. If the Browns can't beat the Broncos with a second-string quarterback that I don't think has ever started a game in his life, that OBJ. You know what OBJ means? You know I'm half Irish, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in Gaelic, OBJ means TNT. So from where I'm from, that dude, if they lose this game, is going to explode. And, part of me wants him to do that because it would be great for the show next week. But like we talked earlier, we have friends, we have, good friends and, family that, really dig this team. And you want them to be happy for the most part.
Of course.
For the most part, But, man, I guess I got to take the Browns on this, but, man, I'm going to be rooting for the Broncos. Just because I think it'd be fun just to see the explosion. Odell Beckham, of course, and then Baker. Baker can't even handle a question about, a timeout, for crying out loud, and storming off the thing. It should be pretty good. But we'll take Cleveland on this one. We did that for the E-Man, okay? Mm-hmm. A little prick. Maybe you can send an email, E-Man. Jagoof. Okay. Oh, good Sunday night game this week. Really good. Okay. The Patriots at the Ravens. Okay. Big bad Patriots. 8-0. They're 8-0. Oh, they're going to be unbeatable. They got to go down to Baltimore on that fast track and play Lamar Jackson. Now, yes, everybody's talking about the defense for the Niners, and they're especially talking about the defense for the Patriots. The Patriots are the best pass defense in the league by a long shot right now. But this guy does more than pass. I got to tell you something. The Ravens are getting 4 points. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens, and I actually think they're going to win. But I'm just taking the points. I'm not making super crazy predictions. And I'm getting 4 points against the big bad Patriots. But this guy is not a regular quarterback. All right, it's not Sam Darnold that sees ghosts and all that kind of shit, and anybody else you want to put in there. This dude, he's kind of like the kid from Arizona. He's kind of like Russell Wilson. He's kind of like Aaron Rodgers. Right? Can't throw as good as Aaron Rodgers, but he runs better. Very good player. Oh, last game, Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. All right. The Cowboys at the New York Football Giants. The Giants, oh my God, this is how pathetic they are. They're getting 7.5 points. We got to go to the Giants, man. That's a gift from God. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I think everybody knows that is the gift. That is the lock of the week. So, all right. Pretty good picks. Good games coming up, man. It's going to be some serious fun this weekend. And it all starts tomorrow night. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Football, the weeks never end with these Thursday games. You really get 2 days off. You feel good. And next thing you know, you got to call your fantasy football partner. And I got to talk about it all over again. But anyways, so T-Man, anything to say before we sign off?
No.
All right. Well, hopefully we didn't offend too many of you. And please keep those emails coming because you send them, we answer them. podcast@gmail. All right, guys. Be safe, have fun, and I'll talk to you next week.